Hi, I'm Jen from Jenn's Cupcakes in Castro Valley, and today we're at the fair demonstrating how to do cupcakes at home. We're going to do buttercream designs, we're going to do fondant designs. For our fair theme we have 4-H animals. All animals will be done in under 4 minutes. You can do it at home just by visiting your local craft store. So come and watch us, shows 1, 3, and 6.
We have Kendra, Jen, and also Jen here from Jenn's Cupcake, and they're going to be doing some different types of cupcake decorations to demonstrate for you. But before we begin, a little bit about their company. In February of 2014, Jen's baking hobby became a reality when Jen's Cupcakes and Parties became a licensed cottage food operation in Alameda County. Jen had never spent a day in culinary school, but she just had a skill she was born with that had to be shared. And so it began. Just 3 years later, Jen's Cupcakes now has a staff with a passion for creating. They work hard to make their clients' visions come to life. The business has expanded from just 10 cupcake recipes to a full-blown custom bakery with a flair on complete party planning, including rentals and custom designs. In 2016, their permit expanded to sell baked goods at local restaurants. Jen and her staff absolutely love all of the fun custom orders that come pouring in every month. The hundreds of cupcakes and dozens of cakes that go out run the gamut from corporate events and weddings to fully customized themed parties. They pride themselves in creating the perfect dessert for any occasion. Everything that comes out of the kitchen needs to be both beautiful and delicious. Jen's Cupcakes is devoted to being active in their community through fundraisers for schools and nonprofit organizations. You will see their goodies at many community events as well. When it's time for your children to book their next birthday party, call Jen. Hands-on teaching is their specialty. They invite you to share the fun and learn how to be creative while enjoying delicious treats. As they say, it's fun to be in the edible art business. Jen is incredibly grateful for all the local support she's received, and a huge thank you goes out to all of her clients who believe in her and have made her hobby a huge success. 100,000 cupcakes and counting. So without further ado, here is Jen's Cupcakes to show you wonderful cupcake demonstrations.
Hi everyone, we're here from Jen's Cupcakes. Today we're going to show you things that you can do at home. If you visit a local craft store, if you have some pastry bags and some tips. We're just going to start with some buttercream design, something that you can turn just a basic mom cupcake into something to wow your friends. We're going to start with something that's pretty basic that everybody can do. We teach decorating parties, and my 7-year-olds that we teach do this first try, so I'm sure all of you guys can do this. We just filled some frosting in a piping bag, and we have just a basic 2D tip. That's a Wilton tip from any craft store. We start with our bag in the middle of a cupcake, and we go around the edges. We put different colors in our bags to make it like multicolor, and we pre-rolled some fondant flowers that we'll just stick on. And in less than 30 seconds, there's the cool cupcake. So there's our first one. That is our absolute easiest design. We also can do, I don't know if anyone's seen hydrangea cupcakes. It's super easy. You take a 1M tip from Wilton, and you just squeeze out your bag and turn your hand. And you start creating a hydrangea effect. And we're using trending colors right now. It's really popular on Pinterest, teals, purples, and pinks. It makes really pretty cupcakes, and it's very popular right now. And you just keep filling it in, and then eventually you end up looking like a hydrangea flower. So you can stop, or you can just keep building it. If you're having friends over, or people use these for tea parties, these are actually what we consider our Mother's Day cupcake flower arrangement. In less than a minute, you make a hydrangea cupcake. Something a little more complicated that you probably want to practice with those before you would start something else like this is a rose tip. The 104 tips from Wilton, they're about 99 cents. You put them in a frosting bag, and there's 2 different sizes. There's a large size and a small size. And you just put the tip at the bigger point down, and you push out. You're going to try to make like a round little nub in the center. And then you just put it down, and you want to squeeze and just pull up. And you're going to start making rose petals. And you just keep going around and around. It takes like 50 times to go around for a huge one. But you can make them small, or you can make them big. A lot of our brides choose this because it's very budget friendly, but it gives you the wow factor, and it's not just a cupcake at a wedding. And you just squeeze and just scallop up and down. And you can make them just small, or you can do the entire cupcake and pipe the whole thing. If you guys can see, it's starting to come to life. So if anyone's feeling creative on YouTube, there is tutorials to do everything. Our clients challenge us with all sorts of crazy things, and that's how we learn. It's like everybody else learns. If you guys can see, it's starting to come to a form. You can use any color you want when you do frostings. Just make some buttercreams, and we just separate them and put them in a piping bag and mush them all together, and it comes really pretty. If you continuously do this, like let's say you make 5 or 6 roses, they're all going to look different because the way your color is coming out of your bag. And then we just have with the rustic rose. So there's one, and then we use the same 104 tip from Wilton, and we could do something a little more fun. You turn the tip upside down, and you just make like a round scallop. So you just go out and pull in, keep your tip angled down, and you just keep going all the way around over and over. And you get these really pretty colors. A lot of times we do these, we do a lot of gender reveal parties. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. It's when you find out the gender of your baby. And so we'll do these with pink and blue frostings, and then we fill the center of the cupcake. So we would fill it with pink or blue. And that's really popular, so you have both colors at your party. And we just keep going, you make like a 3rd row. I don't know if you guys can see it coming to life. And then again, we use one of the flowers that we already made today. And just put it right on top. And then you have something really to wow your guests. So all these tips are pretty easy. They're all about $1 or $2 at all your craft stores. You can do everything at home in just a couple minutes. We are selling all of these today. All of our cupcakes are mix and match, 4 for $15. We have 7 flavors, and then we are selling all the flowers that we're making in different colors, different designs, so they're all going to look different. And now we're going to turn you over to Jenn and Kendra, and they're our decorators, and they're going to create this fun for you. So Jen's going to start us off.
All right. Hey everybody, so we're going to go ahead and show you how to make these little farm animal decorations. They're made from fondant. You'll see that all of the supplies that we use, like Jenn said, you can get at any craft store or on Amazon. The fondant that we use is pre-made, but you can make your own as well. And you can buy it pre-colored to make things a little bit more convenient, or you can color it yourself with food grade food colors. So the first one that I'm going to make for you is the little pig. The great thing about cupcake toppers is that you can kind of get creative with the shapes that you have. So you can see that none of the cutters that I have out are specific to the shape of the animals. It's just a bunch of different shapes that I put together to create these faces. To roll out the fondant, we have this little fondant roller that has these spacers on it. The spacers allow us to have an even depth to each of our layers of fondant. So I don't have to have any guesswork as to how thin I'm rolling, if I'm rolling it too thin or too thick. I just push down until it stops rolling. If it gets a little sticky like this, we have cornstarch in a bag, and you just dab the cornstarch on there, and it takes away that stickiness for you. So we'll use the circle. This is the circle cutter that we use for all of our cupcake toppers. It's kind of the perfect shape, the perfect size to top a cupcake. So I have to cut the big circle for the face. I have a smaller oval for the snout. And then I have a little leaf cutter. You can see it's smooth on one end and scallop on the other. I'm going to use the smooth end. And you start to get a little bit creative. You just look through the cutters that you have, and I'm like, this is a leaf, but it's the perfect shape for little pig's ears. So one of the little ears I'm going to turn around so that we've got a nice little shape to frame the face of the pig. And then what we have here is edible glue, also something you can find at craft stores. But if you don't have it or you don't want to purchase it just for a small project, water will work just fine. Water is like glue for bonnet. And then we also have these food grade paintbrushes that we use to apply the glue. So I'm going to paint a little bit of glue on the back of my oval here and stick it in the middle of the pig's face. And do the same thing for the ears. A little bit on the bottom of the ears. And put one on each side of his head there. And then to draw on his face, we have these little flower former tools. I'm going to give the pig a little bit of a grin, so I'm going to draw his smile off to the side. Just make an indent like that. And then the same thing for his nose, make two little indents. It looks kind of like a coin or a button. And then for his eyes, we have a food marker. This is edible ink. And just draw on his eyes there. This is something that you can also make with black walnut. You can roll little balls if you don't have a food marker and just attach them to his face. So you can see a little pig head there. And as you can see, it's a little bit pliable right now, but it will dry. It will dry hard. So you can see the ones that are on the cupcakes, the ears are kind of sticking out straight. And that's because we've left them out to dry. They don't need to be refrigerated overnight so that they can kind of harden up a little bit and they're ready to put on top of your buttercream. So the next one that I'm going to show you is the cow. And as you can see, we wrap up our fondant because air is kind of the enemy to fondant that you're working with because it'll start to dry out and get really, really crumbly. So you want to keep it wrapped up so that it's still pliable and it feels like Play-Doh so that you can keep working with it. I'm going to roll out the white here for the cow's face. I'm going to use that same circle cutter for his head. And I need to roll out the pink again for his little mouth. The oval that I'm using for the cow's mouth is a little bit bigger than the one that I used for the pig, just because I want his nostrils and his mouth to fit on the same little oval. And then I'm going to roll out some black for his ears. So when I was looking through our cutters, and I was creating these toppers, I couldn't find one that was the right shape for what I wanted the cow's ear to be. So I decided to take a little circle, and you'll see how I kind of transform that into little ears for the cow. Put that on a little white backdrop so you can see. So with this circle, I'm just going to pinch the bottom of it like you're folding up a taco, and just pinch those edges together. And you can see it kind of becomes a little ear shape. And I'm going to do the same thing for the other one. So you can start to get creative. If you don't have the exact shape that you need, you can work with what you've got and still create something that's really, really cute. So to put the cow together, I'm going to use my edible glue again. I'm going to attach his mouth to the lower portion of the circle. Press that down. Same thing with the ears. I'll glue the bottom of the ears and attach those to the top of his head. And then we can draw on his mouth. And his mouth is just a standard little grin in the middle. And then two little dots for his nostrils. And also with all these little tools, these flower forming tools, it's not something that you have to go out and buy for a simple project like this. You can use a toothpick. It'll work just fine to make these indentations. And then for his spots and his ears, I'm going to use the edible marker again. This is, like I said before, something that you can definitely use black fondant for. But the edible marker is so much faster and just as cute, so that's why I decided to use that instead. I'm drawing some spots there. And when you're making bigger designs with the edible marker, like these spots, you really have to be careful when you're handling it because it does stay wet for a while and you don't want to smear your cute work. You can see the cow's face there. So make sure that you don't press down on those those spots and let them dry. And then once they dry, they're definitely easier to handle. So I'm going to turn it over to Kendra to show you her handiwork while I talk you through what she's doing. So next she's going to make the sheep. We use the same cutter for the sheep. It's this circle cutter. But on the other side, it's scalloped. So that gives the sheep its nice little fuzzy edges. And sometimes you'll see we have, these metal cutters are really great because when you press down on them, they give you nice clean edges and your decorations look really nice, which is kind of what you're going for with fondant. Everything looks really like clean and neat. But sometimes with the plastic ones, you sometimes get a little bit of a fuzzy edge. And I'll show you what she just did. So you just kind of would tuck back any type of fuzzy edge that you get to give you those nice clean scallops, to get rid of any excess there that you don't want. Because as you're working with the fondant and it's still soft, it's really easy to get rid of those imperfections. But once it starts to dry out, it can get a little bit more challenging. So you just do it right away, and then once you set it down, that's pretty much going to be how it's going to look and what it's going to dry like to go on top of your cupcake. So she's cutting out an oval for the sheep's face. Actually, all the ovals that we use for the snout and the mouth and the face and the wings on the chick, they're all from the same set. They're just different sizes. So as I was creating the toppers, I would just kind of mess with the different sizes to see what looked best. So it's definitely a nice little creative endeavor to try to create designs for your cupcakes. So once she cut out the smaller oval out of black, that was actually the ears. So the smaller oval is cut in half, and then that becomes the ears on the side of the sheep's face. Similar to the cow, we didn't really have the shape that we wanted for the sheep's ears, so we just went with that same oval and cut it in half. It works just fine. And the other thing that Kendra's going to be doing is she rolled little white balls for the sheep's eyes. You can definitely find little sugar googly eyes at the craft store, but for this project we decided to just make our own. So either way it works. She's going to glue on the eyes first before adding the pupils with the edible marker, because like I said, that edible marker does stay wet, so you don't want to have to glue on those eyes and press down and then mess up all your nice work with the little eyeballs. So she glues those on first, and then she's just going to kind of poke down to give it that nice character. And then 2 little dots in the bottom of the oval for his nose. And you have a cute little sheep. So as you can see, these are pretty easy. They don't take you very long, just a few minutes. And especially once you get the hang of working with fondant and when to add cornstarch when it starts to get sticky and making sure you're not adding too much to make it too dry, it gets even easier and quicker. It's also really fun, something to do with kids. It's similar to playing with Play-Doh, but it's something that you can eat when you're done, so that's really cool. So she's going to be making the chick now, that same circle that we've been using the whole time to cut out the body. And then we have a medium oval for the wings. Some orange out for her. And that oval is going to be cut in half to create those wings so that we can glue them on and make that chick come to life a little bit. Roll out some orange for the beak and the feet. So for the feet on the chick, we actually ended up using a little flower cutter. These are plunger cutters. These are really cool. You cut them out just like you would do with any other cutter, but then you press in the plunger to expel the shape that you made. It's similar to what we use to make these little fondant flowers that we put on top of the buttercream cupcakes, just a different size. Super easy. And I just was looking at the flower and I thought that it would make really cute chick feet, so it worked out well. For these flowers, I don't know if you can tell, they're a little bit concaved. And the way that we make that happen is we put it into it's like a sponge. It comes in the flower forming set with all these fun tools. And we use there's like a tool that has a ball on the end of it. And we push down on it and it makes the flower go like from flat to that. And then we just leave them there to dry. And then they end up having a little bit more character than just a flat flower. So Kendra glued on the wings on the chick. It was that oval cut in half and then flipped to face out, and then a little triangle for the beak and the two little orange flower feet. And then she's going to use the edible marker to draw on the eyeballs. And that's it for our little chick. So in just a few minutes, you have another cute little animal topper. So that was it for our fondant decorations. Does anyone have any questions?
Well, everything we made today we are selling. So over here we also have 7 flavors of cupcakes. Everything is mix and match, 4 for $15. If you guys want to go enjoy the fair, we have a refrigerator, we can hold them for you. And then when you're done at the end of the day, just come pick them up, take them home, and you can have them for a treat for tomorrow. Hopefully you guys learned something. It's pretty easy to do some things at home if you feel like being creative. If not, call us. This is what we do every single day. And we have fun. We do a lot of crazy cakes. If anyone follows us on Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, we have a lot of crazy things we do. And we're always up for a challenge. So stop by our booth, grab a cupcake, and
this is also a really fun activity for a kids' party. We do both the buttercream demonstrations and the fondant decorations for the kids that are a little bit older, as a little bit of a do-it-yourself treat activity for kids' parties. So you can ask us about that as well. Yes.
So for the parties,
we do. No, so we are not a storefront. We are located in Castro Valley. We have the cottage licensing through California, meaning we are allowed to bake from home. Therefore, I do not let kids in, for cleanly reasons, for one. We come to your house. We set up everything. There's 2 different packages. There's a buttercream party where you learn 6 to 8 different techniques like what I did. Those I come by myself. When we do the fondant, I bring one of the girls with me because I don't work in the fondant area. I just run this business and do buttercream and cakes and everything. These girls are amazing. So we'll bring them. If you're having a safari theme, we just recently did one, and Jen came up with all these safari animals, and they were 10-year-olds, and everyone gets 4 packages, 4 cupcakes to go home, and it's their theme. It's a lot of fun, and they're really into it. So the minimum age is 7. Really, they don't get into it until they're about 10 or 12. That middle school age is fantastic. They create really cool things. We can even make your birthday cake for your child on site if you give us a theme. It's a lot of fun. We book months in advance for our parties because our weekends sell out almost every weekend. We're sold out. Or we're at events like this and we can't take orders. So the birthday parties are a lot of fun. They start at only $15 a child when they come to you. And we bring everything, and they get the 4-pack to go home with. So it counts as their party favor. And then it counts as their, what we're doing at the party, and then also your cupcake at the party. And then we do trivia questions, and they get bonus things, and they ask crazy questions about our business, and so it's fun. The kids really, really enjoy it. Any other fun questions? It does. So the $15 when we come do a party, for that $15, they get a 4-pack box with 4 blank cupcakes. And then we prep everything. So we'll get the kids' names ahead of time. So when we come in, we set the table. Each kid has their box, and then I go through instruction with them. And I'll sample one like this with everybody, and then I kind of go around and help the kids. Again, it depends on the age. Teenagers don't want help. Little kids need the help, or they just care I brought sprinkles in the bag. That's all they care about. So it depends. And a lot of adults have asked us to do training, and that's definitely something that we'll probably start doing. We go to Vegas. We're leaving in a few weeks to do training with actually famous celebrities who do cakes around the world. So if you follow us on any Instagram or Snapchat or Facebook, you will see who we're going to go take classes with this year. Last year we were with Betty from Cake Boss and all sorts of other big famous people. So We're #1 in Castro Valley. We have to stay on our games, so I have to keep learning all the time.
Thank you.
Yeah, stop by and grab cupcakes before you guys leave today. They're really good.